you're not happy, and you can't make confessions and say, I am rich, I am happy, but inside you're not feeling it. It's not going to correlate, and it's not going to actually manifest. So I think that's where we miss the mark as well.
I'm going to be asking the business coach, Smoo, do we have one mic? This one, yeah, just go to the business coach there. 2 questions for you, ma'am. Question number 1, mental health among women. It's becoming a serious issue. And number 2, when you are gone, the healing process. We as men inflict a lot of hurt to women, but I want you to reverse it. What happens when a woman inflicts hurt to a man? How do we as men also heal? First one is the mental health. Introduce yourself, and welcome also to one of our international business coaches. Let's put our hands together for her. Introduce yourself, and let's go for it.
Good afternoon, beautiful ladies. And I see there's some gentlemen I know here as well. My name is Roxana Moden. I'm an international speaker, business coach, trainer, and my mission is to empower women, making a difference in the lives of the people that I know, meet, and future that I might meet. I think the questions that have been asked, and especially on the mental wellness, for me, I think having limiting beliefs that we've had since a little girl. We as women have been brought up as servers, doers, and to be obeying. And that makes a problem for all of us, because what actually happens is when we go out into society, people take advantage of that. So when you become a server, they take too much from you. There's never a limit, never enough. It'll never be, because it'll always be you measured on how much you give, how much you do for people, and that one odd day you can't do, you're out. The one day you don't get it right, that you dressed up right and you're having an off day, you're out. So mental wellness will begin with yourself. Learn to love yourself. Learn to accept who you are. With all your roles, with your pigmentation, with your hair falling out, whatever it is. Because the most important thing for your mental wellness is if you learn to love yourself for who you are, for what your purpose is that you've been created on this planet for. Nothing and no one will be able to faze you. Your mental wellness is your job. Loving you. In schools, I think it's most important. Love should be one of the subjects that be taught. When I get called to schools and they say, a kid hit each other, something happened, I say to them, I'm willing to come to your school to speak about love. I don't know anything about bullying. Because if you love yourself inside, you won't say mean things. You won't hurt people. And I think as moms in this room, I speak for all, including myself. Love should begin from a young age, whether it's a boy. We need to stop that paradigm of boy needs this, girl needs this. Children are children. Love them, and that love will heal everything within them. Whether it's abusive, men hit women because they've seen it. They've seen their dads done it. And moms, you know what? We show that we're tougher. We're going to get up, we'll put makeup on, we'll cover it. So what do our boys believe? I want a woman just like my mom, strong enough. So I don't know if that answers your question, both of them together. We need to be responsible for the boys that we bring into this world. I'm a mom. I have 2 boys, and both my boys almost see me die by the hands of my partner. Both saved me 2 times. I had all the money, I had businesses, I was rich beyond. But you know what I had to ask myself? The question is, what is the impact that I'm leaving on my boys? Do I want 2 more abusers? Do you understand? So I left my wealth, I left my business, I left my partner, and I decided then to go on a journey of healing my boys. Because I want to break that cycle. I want to break the poverty mindset. I want to break this that if nothing works out, I'll bang something. No. If you bang something tomorrow, there's nothing to bang. You're going to bang a woman. You're going to bang your partner. Women are just as violent as men. Women are more violent because they know they're going to get away with it. I have met women that have stabbed their husbands just because he looked at another woman. Because why? Society has made us feel inadequate as women. It's made us feel less. It's not made us feel. There's always going to be. God has created a man that he will enjoy and appreciate a woman. If you're not confident about who you are, you're going to fall to pieces every day. all the time. You're going to be giving power to a man and to every other woman there, that the minute they even look at your man, you're like, I'm falling to pieces. I'm going to kill somebody. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm happy with what I am. This year is God's creation. There's only one of me, so none of you can compare with me or compete with me. I eat cake. I love my things. But you know what? For my health, I'll go on a diet, maybe. Maybe. I said maybe, girls. Right? But the thing that is most important is when I wake up in the morning, I know who I am. I know my mission. I know my vision, that I want to change the world starting with our kids. I want to change the mental thinking that boys can stand at a table and give a price value to what they are worth. And our women sit down and take backstage, and they never will call a value. That's why, ladies, you earn less. That's why you get less on a tender. Do you understand why? It's because we step back. Step up. Step up. Step into your place. Stop this gender bias. You are giving power. You, as the powerful woman that you are here, are giving power to being people treating you biasly, to giving the bigger contracts to the guys. Why? It's because we don't step up. We don't step up into our place. I've owned 2 petrol stations. And when they said to me, a woman will never be able to own her own one, I said, try me. 20 years ago, my first petrol station. So it's not about who you are. It's not about what you have. It's what you're going to do with it. Make an impact in this world, ladies. Start with your children. Start with your neighbor next door. We empower by lifting each other up. And the violence that I've seen on men, it's a real thing. Nobody wants to talk about it. Because our women get away with it, right? She beat him up.
Particularly the laws of this country.
Yes.
If an alleged, David Malapo allegedly tried to rape me, immediately they lock me up and then I'll answer later. But the other side, it's as if women has got more rights. Please deal with it, because some people are also listening to you.
I think, I've dealt with I'm a coach. So I'm a master NLP, and NLP is for neuro-linguistic practitioning. And I've met a lady, and she's very powerful, she's amazing. And I always wanted to know, how is it that she attracts the worst men? That's my word, sorry for the word, right? Worst men. That she brings out the devil in these guys. Really, that they get a bad reputation when they're with them. And out of curiosity, I said to her, I'd love to just give you a coaching session. Because, my curiosity was, why does she attract these kind of men? Only to find out she brings out the worst in them. You understand? She would dress provocatively, touch on him, go for dinner. And obviously the man is saying, whoa, game 1. 2nd, I'm taking her out. 3rd, okay, we're going to a hotel. And at the hotel, she's like, what the hell is your problem? What's going on here? This is not happening. And he's like, I've invested time, care, I'm thinking something's happening, and you've got another guy picking you up, I will break you. So we women are setting a trend to the highest bidder. And then the poor sister comes along, she's really genuine, she wants the guy, and his anger has already been set in, he's going to hurt her. Ladies, you know who I'm talking about. You have friends. Come on, let's nod. Yeah? Put your hands up. You have met those girls. They wear I'm not saying men should rape women with short skirts. Please don't get me wrong. I'm all about women, and I'm an advocate for it, right? But don't tease men. Don't be that player girl that you want to show them that I'll wipe myself off you, darling. I'm here to break you. I'm here to punish you. You understand? Because you're making it worse for the sisters out there that are truly, genuinely wanting a partner, that don't want to play anybody, that don't have games. So you need to step up. Don't play games, because these things are being exposed. And when you're exposing women, the real women that are getting raped now, they say, no, she wasn't raped. Because why? There are women being exposed for playing games. They're sleeping with men, going to the police station. There's DNA in me. I have been raped. Only months later to find out she was extorting money from him. You know these things come. Some of you are saying yes. So this is where we need to put that stop. Don't encourage this behavior. Don't make it out that you're the it girl. That's not an it girl. You're making it bad for the women that are really being raped. And men are going down, good men. Good men are losing their kids Because moms are accusing them of molesting their kids. And it's not true. It's not true. So be very careful of how much you want to damage. Yes, I come from a very bad marriage. My ex-husband is an amazing father. It's just, I was too much for him. My mom said, make yourself less, speak softer, because I'm that loud girl, you know. I'm like, whoa, I get in a room, and I make women jump up. So my mom said, speak softer. So I said, okay, I'll go a little bit softer. And my ex was like, you got a dead, dying voice. So I was like, okay, let me speak louder. And he says, I can't stand your loud voice. So I was like, what now? And then he was like, I don't want you to wear skirts. I'm like, okay. So I wore a trouser. And he says, when you wear a trouser, you act like a man. So I was like, what the hell? Am I ever going to get it right? But he's a good dad. So I didn't want to ever tarnish that relationship, because there's two different relationships. Ex-husband, I swept him up. But father, he's there. I'm not going to play with that relationship, because I fear God, right?
Yes.
Something, somewhere out there is going to balance me. My boys need their father. You understand? So I've had to say to them, yes, he came out of an abusive relationship. His dad beat them, his dad beat the mom, and they thought it was normal. She was strong. His mom was strong. She could take it. I was weak. One clap, I was down. I couldn't handle it, you know? So different women come up with games. Be very careful and call them out. Call them out on it. Whether it's your daughters at home playing these games, you know, with their blessers. Yeah? These blessers are going down, ladies, because they are getting exposed, and they're getting exposed. Young girls are going out into society and saying, I'm 21. And then men are being arrested for statutory rape. Do you know that's happening? Nobody wants to talk about it. It's not a nice subject. It's distasteful, right? But it's our daughters. It's our neighbors' daughters playing these games, and they're telling your daughters, and they're telling their friends that, you know what, you can catch these rich guys. They like young girls. You know what I'm talking about. Guys are shooting guys because of young girls. And you know, to be honest with you, when I was young, I was thin. Please don't judge me. I was skinny. I tell my boys it's their fault that I'm plump. But anyway, I didn't know what my body was for. I was a tomboy, you know. But when I see young girls today, I'm like, oh my God, look at how stunning she looks. Use your beauty for the right reasons. Use your beauty, that sexiness, use it for the right reasons. I'm all for beauty. I'm a coach for 50 amazing beauty queens. And I always teach them that the most important thing is how you carry your package. This is your package, you know? So you want to be proud of who you are. I think it's bad taste, bad. And a lot of people say to me, I was abused. I should go out there and mince men. The most important people, my coaches, are men. The people that have grown me when I lost my entire fortune 7 years ago are men. I was not meant to be here, by the way. I just came to congratulate Abdul. And doctor said, I would really love you to be here today. That was a man opening a door for me. Ladies, we need to invite the men that are offering their mentorship, their coaching, their brotherhood, their toughness to say, come and sit at the table with me. So thank you so much, doctor.
Let's give a round of applause to my sister. Thank you so much. If we're in church, we'll say, everybody will say. And you're sitting close to Dan. Dan handles all of our ICANN international fathering. We need women like this. Truthful, upfront. Again, the healing process is, as Angela said, we need to realize it's Pumzile, to admit it. Yes, I was raped. Was. Past tense. What are you doing about it? Let's also open a couple of questions here to the two ladies. Questions or comments? Questions or comments? We've got one, sis Faith here. Other one, going. 2, 3. Okay, these 3 people, and then number 4. Then Angela, I want us to close with the business, and also Pumzile prepare some couple of words. But they're going to be asking you the questions or comments. So, Baba, 4 of them.
Good morning, everyone. I actually would like to ask Umama Connie a question.
Please go ahead.
Because she really touched on the issue of family. Mina, I'm one of those women who like to just be practical. I mean, as a woman of God, I want to know, Uguti, as parents, as leaders on the ground, what can we do to make sure, Uguti, we are building a better society? Because for me, we keep having all these questions, all these conversations about all the rapes, the GBVs and all that, but Tina, as women in our own households, we allow media to pollute the very society that we're trying to build. So how, as parents, as leaders in our households, how can we start having these uncomfortable conversations to say, what are we going to do? You know, must let us hamba. You know, we've had every speaker after speaker, but we need solutions now. We need to stop talking. We need to act differently. What can we do, you know, to influence media, to help us build a better society?
Thank you very much for that question. In fact, it goes with, I will answer the question and also pose the question to our beauty, Mrs. Universe. I think newspapers sell because of the story. And I think one of the things that we need to do especially as mothers or as parents, we need to, not that we should censor, but we need to direct our children what kind of stories to watch. I mean, I hear people watch something, or what, I don't know what it is. Jola 99, something like this, in Nyani Nyani, you know, things like that. Yes, it's our languages, but some of them are not building, you know. I mean, when I see people enjoying to watch cheetahs, it's not something that is building, because already you're manifesting something in your head. So I think it needs to start from home. We should not really blame the media because they're selling the story. I mean, if you look at Sunday World, you know, I mean, I'm so scared of Sunday World because one day is it Sunday World? They said to me, Sunday Sun, you don't want to be on Sunday Sun. So we need to encourage our children. And I know we don't have, children are children. They are naughty. They do all sorts of things. And I wanted to, you know, to talk to you. You say the hatred of your mom. And I'm so saddened by that. Because as mothers, our kids, as mothers, we are mothers for every child. You see, I've got a grandchild that has been expelled from boarding school. She's only 16, you must see how small she is. You get cross, but you still build them. You become a bigger person. I always say even with my friends, when we have problem with our children, we have problem with our children. I had problem with my daughter a little bit. I have my problem with my son. And it's the growth, you know, stage. But you don't get cross to the point where there is no communication. You know, we have to be bigger people. In any relationship that we have, we get cross with our friends. But I always say, please also, my dear ladies, don't communicate on WhatsApp. Pick up the phone. Because on WhatsApp, you don't know, you're thinking of this person says, yes, why are you saying that? But if you call and say, can we talk? You know, it's all perceptions that we have. So for me, yes, we need to discuss it in our homes. We need to tell our children, you know, our coach says it's dress code. Yes, sometimes it is dress code. I mean, we should know how to dress up as girls. I'm not saying we should not wear our things, our shorts. There's nothing wrong with that, it's our this thing, but also know how to, where to do it. You know what I mean? There's no formula, But we need to try as human beings because we are here to make a difference. Our purpose is to guide, to teach, to protect, and to educate, all those things. So thank you. I hope I answered your question. I know I don't like media, but it is something that we live by. We cannot go away with it. We cannot ever say we can't be, social media is something that we live by every day. And I think, let me tell you guys, I just want to share this with you. Why are we lying so much? I've seen Miss Oma today, and then she posts something that I'm in Cancun doing something. Really, those are the things that are not good. And you know what they do? We are not truthful about ourselves. We are not who we are. And that is why sometimes people don't take us serious. I cannot be here today and I post that I'm in New York and show the New York stuff. Really, that is the media for you. But it's us that we want to be who we are not. But I want to say, Angela, when I saw you now, I thought I knew you, but I saw you on television. It's so interesting that when you see someone, you think you've seen them. In the meantime, you saw them in your lounge, And and your story, it's an interesting story, and I wish you everything of the best. People hurt, people are hurting, but let it not be something that, it's something that, and don't manifest it in you, It's part of our lives. Just walk tall. Sometimes you see something, just walk tall and say, you know what, it is what it is. I think I look at my life, I feel like I'm one of the luckiest people in the world. Just to let you know that I've just celebrated my 40th wedding anniversary last week. And you ask yourself, when did she get married? Yes, a long time ago. But that doesn't mean that you did not have challenges in your life. We all go through challenges. Otherwise, I wouldn't be where I am if I did not go through those challenges and how you deal with those challenges. And my sister, please, as much as you say what you're doing because your mother hates you, I wish someday, and I want to be that someone who can intervene, that one day you can sit and talk to your mother, because they are the ones who brought us here. However they are, sometimes they drink, they smoke, they do all sort of stuff, but at the end of the day, we are here because of them. So I'm hoping that she's hearing, wherever she is, that you are a great person. She must be proud that you are who you are because of her, So let it not be, it was something that, triggered your success. But don't keep it like that. Let it not be something that every day you say, I want to show her. Show her by sitting down with her, because she's an adult. You are an adult now. You tell her that, you know what, I'm not a child anymore, but I'm here to say to you, you brought me to this earth. I want peace. I don't want to be competing for your love. I want you. We might not be the greatest friends, but you are my mother. We all are, some of us, we long for our mothers. They've gone long time ago. And just to have the last dance, the last talk with her is something that I yearn for. And I think one day, wherever she is, she might be having a pride, but inside, she is hurting. So please, when you do have time one day, just make it a point. Be a bigger person. Your mother is small. Be a bigger person. Thank you for that.
Yesterday we said, today we want to come with practical solution. Abdul, this is what we're talking about. You spoke like a true mother. And guess what, man? Even if you're 60, she can still be a coach. Did you see how she, so black like me coaching something, Again, Aus Pumzile, she spoke from the heart of her mother. As I said, haters hate, but again, it's not what is happening to us that counts. It's how we react. People's opinions will always be there, but what they say about you, you can't control it, but you can control what comes out of your mouth. Yes. And I always teach my team that sometimes the best ministry is the ministry of shut up. The ministry of what? Shut up and just do, as Angela said, just continue, fulfill your purpose in life. And by the way, just to make the record straight, we're at the Houghton Hotel. Where are we? Just to be clear, so that you know. Hey, can I you know, we're at the Houghton Hotel. Question there? Where's another question? Oh, that side. Go ahead, ma'am. Hey, Abdul, be ready. We're going to be finishing up the session. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. I was going to ask the same question as Auskoni because in my mind, I was thinking for Miss Universe Pumzile, if her mother knows that she hates her or if like the other way around, and how do they go about it? Is it verbal hatred or actions or like something? Because sometimes I also have a situation with my mother, so my mother does not know that I'm hurting because of it. It's a recent thing, but I just keeping a distance from my mother. She's in Limpopo, and then I'm always crying about the actions and the talks that she's been telling me. So I just wanted to know if her mother knows that she hates her or she has caused the hatred. It's very deep.
Good
Thank
question. As Pumzile, can hit that one quickly.
Thank you for that question. All right. The other people who knows me, just 2 weeks ago, I was on Akhanang, broken relationship between a mother and daughter. My mother took me there. And the mission for her to take me there, it was for the South Africa to see me as a bad person who doesn't want to forgive her mother. Her plan was to stop my journey, but they see through her. There was a psychologist, and they spoke to my mother. She doesn't want to hear. She doesn't want to acknowledge her wrong. So my mother knows what she's done to me, and she's happy with everything that she did to me. A week before I was crowned, I went home with the police, because I can only go home when I'm going with the police. And my father told the police that next time you come to my house, you will get out of this house facing up, dead. That's my father. In front of the my brother's fiance, in front of the grandkids, in front of everyone. And you know what the police said? Said, your issues, it's too deep. It's too deep. Only God will save this relationship. A mother and daughter, we continue, we don't see eye to eye, because she doesn't want to acknowledge that she scarred me when I was 16 years old, when I only asked for a sanitary pad. And my mother told me that intanga zakho ziyagereza. She said I must go and sell my body to bring grocery home. And when you were talking about the breaking, the, attracting bad men and stuff, I don't agree with that. I carry myself as a queen because I am the queen. I don't tease men or do anything, but I am raped. I am beaten. I attract the worst men in the world. And I carry myself, the way I'm carrying myself, I don't go around doing funny things with men. But I've been married 3 times. By the way, on the 24th of February, I divorced my husband, 3rd marriage. My first marriage, my husband passed away 11 years ago. He had a one-night stand and he was infected with AIDS. God saved me. I was only affected, not infected. I got married again. And after my first husband passed away, I had a son already. My son is from Uganda. My first husband was from Uganda. My second husband didn't want my son. I gave him back his lobola money. That's because that's who I am. You don't touch my kids. If you don't want my child, clearly you don't want me. Don't tolerate my kids. It's either you love them or you don't. And I choose my kids all the time. I got married that time on the 1st of March, 2019, and I divorced 2 weeks ago because my husband, he abused me emotionally. After emotionally, he abused me physically. So another reason I've entered Mrs. Universe South Africa is because we are the spokesperson for domestic violence and the abuse, and I am a victim of GBV. I've seen it all. I don't know what I don't have peace. Every time I'm always fighting. I have to defend myself over and over, and it's tiring. I need to break that.
Well, you're breaking it right now because, you know, in the Bible, Sissy, Jacob is going through a difficult time. He says there is bread in Egypt. What he did not know, Joseph was there. But listen to what Joseph says. With what the dad did, the brothers sold him for dead. He went to Potiphar's wife. That woman liked Ben 10. You know, I wanted to, come on, don't look at me like that. You know that, you know. And then accused him falsely, ended up in prison. But the Bible says God was with him. In the natural, where is God in this thing? That's why I asked that question to Angela. Where is God in this thing? But afterwards, as you know, he interprets dreams for people. I was calling people forgot him. You know, we help people, they forget us, Levan. But still, when it's God's time. But listen to the words of Joseph. Remember, Jacob said there is bread in Egypt. He did not know that the answer is already there. That's why that question is important. With the issues the mom and the father have got, we will never know. Maybe they need counseling, whatever. But this is a scripture. Joseph says, what was meant for evil, God has turned for, and that's what I'm saying. We go through stuff, but again, I want to encourage you in front of the sisters here. What is meant for evil? You are a prayer warrior, you're a woman of God. Everything works together for good. Not everything is good, but everything what? Works. Because when it's originated by God, He will orchestrate it, because the stories you are now sharing. But I still think from Auskoli Meole, continue to love them. And don't try to pursue success. No. You just do it, do good anyway. Amen.
Amen.
Yes, Angela, because you've gone through that, share some thoughts.
Okay, I won't go into detail. Mpumzile, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so your mother, and I'm just sensing. Well, I personally feel that your delivery today it's more like you're reaching out without realizing it. That's how I see it, and that's how I view it. That there's deep-rooted anger that you're not aware of, and it's dangerous. It's very dangerous, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm saying that because, like, we can be different, but there are similarities in things that with things that we endure. So when it comes to your mother, one thing I would like you to understand is that, you know, there's a 6. I'm standing in my 6, your mother's standing in her 9. The minute you turn around and look at it from her point of view, in terms of the 9, then you will be able to see better. Or if you had to put yourself in her shoes, then you'll be able to see that, okay, this is the reason why she did what she did. Must remember, hurt people, right? That's how it goes. And I've been where you are, where you want to prove a point. Like, so tolo Obama. Somebody sa mangfia lapang zofia nge tiger. We all go through that, but it's okay. It's a phase. It's a phase to say, look, I don't have to show anyone. I don't have to compete with anyone. I don't have to prove a point to anyone. You to a point where you're content with who you are, right? So I understand where you're coming from, and there's so many things I can share. It's just not the right time to share right now. But I'm saying that forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sit and dine and break bread, you know, because sometimes people can be so corrupt to a point where they're so toxic that it's you can't mend that relationship. It's like when you tear a cloth, you can't sew it back and it will be the same anymore. all you can do is remove yourself from that situation and say, okay, I acknowledge it. Let me release that energy. Let me release the energy of anger. It's pain, because with anger is just a facade. What's deep down inside there is that deep-rooted anger and hurt, rather pain, hurt, disappointment. Then we exude it through anger. I've gone through that phase where I was angry, where I went through all of that, but I've evolved, and it's a healing process. I can't say I've totally healed. No one has totally, I think everyone has different type of trauma that we endure, but it's just the levels of trauma that we endure. So for myself, I would say that attracting that also can be when you attract the wrong person, and it could be that one hasn't really dealt with that deep, the deep core, those deep issues subconsciously, and then without realizing it, that, okay, you feel like you need to do something. Your mother or your parents could have just gone through something that they've gone through, same as my parents have gone through something that I will not disclose, but trust me, I understand where you are, and it's a phase.
Can I also ask for forgiveness? He knows,
Yes,
Abdul.
yes.
Both of you are not supposed to be here today. Is that right, Abdul? No, both of you are not.
Okay.
But strategically, because
Yes.
I call myself a man of God. Okay? I sense that you are supposed to actually counsel her. So he knows the program. The team knows the program. You don't. So I'm just saying again, see God in this. Kakul for Pumzile. Because as she's healing you, she's also getting healed. Wait until you hear her story. If you think yours is worse, wait, but when you are sisters together. Let's go 2 more questions, then we wrap up. I want us to talk about the business and the other thing. There's another thing there. So please make sure you exchange. Guys do that. We exchange numbers. You guys need to hook a sister
I'll take a
up.
number immediately.
Hook a sister up. Yes, ma'am. We can't hear you, my sister. Esmu, can you help the queen there? She calls herself yesterday. I heard you, ma'am.
Sanibonani nonke ekhaya. My question is directed to the Queen Umamkoni. With 60 years of experience in your walk and journey, Ndlovukazi, I wanted to find out from you that what are some of the life lessons that you've learned from failure in whatever area of your life? What caused you to rise again, dust yourself off, and say, I'm going to keep this moving. I am focusing on my calling. I am focusing on my purpose. I am not going to be distracted. So that is my question to Indlovukazi yethu, Umamkoni, if she can just give us those life lessons of how she turned situations around and made them for her good, or what made her not quit. And then to my queens on the stage, Ndlovukazi Phumzile, Ndlovukazi Angela, we do have a ministry with Prophetess Crystal Mayer, the Warrior Foundation. It's a sisterhood about healing, about love. It's a journey that we take. It's pro bono. We hold each other up in love and light. Enye into engizwisa ubuhlungu lana ukuthi sihleli, and Indlovukazi yethu uPhumzile is sharing her story, and we've got women who find it funny. I don't know which aspect of it is funny. Makhosikazi, inxeba lomunye umfazi alihlekwa. Ngiyabonga.
Oskoni?
Thank you for the question. Lots of failures, but the biggest one that I can talk about, especially from the business point of view, I started working with my husband from day one, and I worked for South & Sons, and he recruited me. I had to forgo my 800 Rand salary to a 400 Rand salary, seeing that it is my family, the legacy. And I think when you do work with your husband at some time, not that there's any problem, at some time, he gets used to you. And as people come into the business, they are the ones who are more important. You just close the doors and what have you. So I felt that I was not valued at the time. And I kept on saying, let's do things like this, let's do things like this. And I think he thought he was the boss, and I thought we were both bosses. So, but the one thing that really triggered, and I heard what Phumzile is saying, what triggered me to break the bias was when, instead of me being promoted to a financial director, he promoted someone else. And the person was not really doing what he was supposed to be doing as far as I was concerned. And guess what? I got so cross that I resigned. I resigned and I went to school, full time. So I got my degree, and when I came back, break the bias, I came back with it. And I say, who is the boss here? You see? So the failure sometimes that we have, do something about it. Yes. Don't get cross, don't fight. Fight the better that you can. So guess what, when I got back, because I resigned for 4 years and I thought, you know what, that's my business anyway. So I got back and I said to this guy, tell me, between you and I, who's the boss here? But because I knew I was empowered. That is why it's important for us women, let's be empowered. However you are, whether you are a housewife, you are at home, you're looking after the kids, do something that when that man is not there, you can do it. Even if you are an interior decorator, just do something, a skill, because that skill will see you right when that person is not there. So now, me and my husband, we have a relationship that we both respect, because he knows I can bring that certificate and say, I know it, you know. That is why I'm running the business right now, and he's doing other stuff, you know. So those are for me, a failure, you look at it as an opportunity. So that, and I have many failures, but I thought this one would be a better example, especially from the business point of view. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we wrap up, Sissy, if you know anything about me, you know that people think success. No. Even yesterday, I know what it is to fail. But again, remember, failure is not final. And failure is not a person, Phumzile, Angela. It's not a person. It's just events in life. I know what it is to fail where you have to now bury your daughter. I know what it is to lose a daughter. You feel like a failure. I know what it is to lose a marriage. I know what it is to lose friends who are there sucking money out of you. And I've learned not everybody who is with you is for you. But again, those are some life lessons, Auskoni. The other one, and I know it's none of my business, but I've been close to you and your husband. It's when we found out one day that your businesses were burned down. I've been there. And then in 24 hours, you had to move to relocate. 24 hours. Again, people see success, they don't know those life lessons. That is a powerful question my precious sister asked. And how you and your husband built Black Like Me from the ashes. And we have seen it. When there were no funders, when there was no BEE, where even the haters said, you'll never amount to anything. But you shut down that. So again, we were watching you, and thanks so much for sharing that. Let's give her a wonderful round of applause. Yeah. Jackie, I want to finish so that you can come up here, but share the thought here.
Thank you so much, and I'm so honored to be in the presence of such beautiful sisters and inspiring women. I just want to add on the issue of Black Like Me, and a lot of people, when we look at even the branding of it, Black Like Me came at a time when, as Black people, we needed to get that reaffirmation, that we needed to get that confidence that Black is beautiful, that Black is able, that Black is capable, that Black is worthy, etc. So even within that name, which I think that it was also a conscious decision, it had so much power at a time when, as Black people, we were the oppressed, at a time when we were seen as being nothingness, at the time when they used to call us kafirs. So for me, the value within that, we cannot place any financial what do you call it, financial value to it, yeah? And I think it's something that as much people, as people don't say it, has actually set in motion a movement of pride amongst black people, and especially black women.
Thank you so much. I was Jackie. Your last comment, your last comment, she said something powerful. During lunchtime, let's be sure we embrace these women. Is that okay? That's why yesterday, I thank God that you were led by the Spirit to stop so that women share love and you even close in prayer. So again, you know, when people go through experiences like this, emotional intelligent leaders will show empathy. So thank you so much, Siswam, on that. And again, it's all about networking. Let's close this thing down. Angela, talk to us about the business. See a lot of juices. I see the green one. You didn't put something illegal in there or something, Siswam.
Maybe,
Talk to me.
Maybe, I'm joking.
Yes.
Okay.
And we saw your brochure on the other side. Talk to us about that, then we wrap up.
All right, so I started this business in 2019 from my kitchen, but it was on an ad hoc basis, officially launched in 2020. It was an unplanned idea, unplanned business. The idea just came in the kitchen while I was juicing, and I decided to monetize it. Fast forward, I've launched it. I'm on Uber Eats now. We've got a LOI with head office in Spa. So we've moved the product, and we want to grow. So the product's about healing. It has healing properties. It's medicinal. For those who didn't know that raw fruit and vegetables have medicinal properties. It's raw, it's squeezed and cold pressed. So you get all your enzymes, all your nutrients, minerals from your herbs, because we have mint and coriander in one of them. And you have all that. So doctors will never tell you that you need to have more minerals, and that's what you get in herbs. So I always advise people to have a herb garden, because it keeps the doctor away, just so you know. And infuse it in your dishes. It's a great way of keeping healthy, because it's raw. So our juices are 100% pure. There is no sugar, no water, no additives. And I was
Wait a minute, when you say no water, but we see something there. What do you mean?
Just to illustrate, you see, when this is 100% pure juice, it has to settle like this. If juice doesn't settle like this, it means it's not 100% pure. It means it's
So it's the phone call to settling us.
So when you see it like this, it means that it's at its purest form. It means that it's been squeezed. So pretty much what we squeeze the juice, the raw fruit or vegetable, and then it separates the pulp. Then you get obviously the juice is extracted. So from the juice, everything is here. So what happens is it's raw, it's not cooked. So the other juices are pasteurized, homogenized, and they also add sugar. So they still call it 100% juice. Not that I'm bashing, but it's the truth, it's a fact. So this is what a lot of people drink, because it goes straight to your bloodstream. So you get all those enzymes. And our natural habitat, we're meant to have fruit and vegetables. And I mean, God created this for us to heal. So this is not just a product for consumption, but it's through me, through what I stand for and how I was raised. We always had a garden at home. Makulu had a vegetable patch. So we always plucked there and cooked. So we always had a healthy lifestyle. So I believe that it's all about healing. It's about what God placed in my hand to say, look, here's something that can heal the nation. And it is... so our USP is about healing. It's about, focusing on, so it's not your typical target audience. It's more about getting the person, different people will probably say you don't like green beans. So this one has green beans, and it's freshly squeezed from the beans, lemon, apple, cucumber. So some people don't like this. So they are not attracted to this because of their body, their function, or how their body is set up in terms of their biology. And then I find some people like the spinach more, because it's spinach, cucumber, apple, lemon, and ginger. So all these ingredients here, like this is high in iron, so you get all your iron intake. It's also good for bowel movement. and if you had a bit to drink, it hydrates you the following day. The green beans, for those who pick up weights, who do weight in gym, it's good for your bones, well, also for fertility to some extent. Well, I'm not claiming, I'm not a doctor. Medically, I can't say I claim, it may assist. And then we have the orange blast. So we have 6 flavors and orange and ginger shots. And so what I want to do with this product is to go, well, I claim it's SA's favorite juice. It's the best juice in Africa. And because we have our platform e-commerce that we all know, and we are in the 4th industrial revolution, and I believe not soon, pretty soon we'll be in the 5th. And I believe with that we need to look at 3-dimensional virtual platforms as opposed to what we have now, because that way we can target different countries and continents and make money quicker. As with the blockchain, it's similar to the blockchain concept, and that is where I see this product going. So it's not your typical product. Our slogan is live fruitfully, so it's all about abundance, about being fruitful, about giving back, and also the next phase of the business is to create pop-up shops for those who want to earn a little bit of money, like your other, what you call this, Herbalife. That's a similar concept that we're working on right now. So we want to create employment and create opportunities well for people that want to promote the product, and we will then give them pop-up shops like a banner, a gazebo, and then they can go and do these pop-ups. So for those who are interested and would like to, or who know someone who needs this opportunity, please come to me after this. Give me your details, because we are working on this and we want to make sure that everyone benefits from this. Because I can speak about, I have so many people that have used it. I mean, I have someone that has been on antiretrovirals who couldn't eat. She had the beetroot and the green one, and she was, she could eat, she could take food down. Some people are on what they call it, cancer treatment. What do you call it again?
Chemotherapy.
Chemotherapy. They can't drink, so they will take the ginger shots. This is the only thing they can hold down. It's delicious, so it's not just green and bitter. So the apple is the natural sugar in it, and you can have one a day. So it's not. I'm not about detox. I'm not about that, because your body naturally detoxes. Your body is able to detox itself. So it's all about a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle brand. Everyone should have this in their kitchen and in their grocery basket. That's just me. So this is what we have, and we have a little pop-up shop outside. We take cards, so if you're welcome to buy your 6-packs or 1 or 2 or 3, but there's a gentleman promoting it there. We have an online store, and we deliver nationally. If you're in the Sunning Hill or Waterfall area, we do have your Uber Eats in that area. We are still expanding, and we will be in many retail stores soon. We're just working on the funding side and getting the capital funds and the working capital going in the meantime. So we're welcome to have, you can pre-order, we have packs, you can check online, it's Choose Juice, so you can Google it, you're welcome to Google it, it's Choose It Juice, choose life, choose health, so this is it. So you're welcome to do that. Thank you so much, and yes, please support us, thank you.
Let's give our Angela a wonderful round of applause. Now, I was naughty because the lady that you're sitting close to, she's smiling. You're going to find out who she is now. But please, like Joseph, don't forget me in your kingdom. I can, you know.
You're the 4th person that said this to me this week.
So Miss God is speaking to you. What's so sweet, Karam? First, like Joseph. I can pumzilo. See, I connect. Manja posita magale in the kingdom. David Bani, Ubani, you know. Kiri, this lady, I was calling the first 3 meter in the 90s, called California education. But you'll hear in a minute. Okay. Thanks so much, Angela. And then again, we also have some of our books. She mentioned the 4th Industrial Revolution. We've got our latest books. And some of you ladies buy from Cheetah. I'm talking about mental strength. Cheetah with men. Menstruation. You know, men. No pause, majita thing that's okay, mental strength, rally. So I'm speaking to 10,000 Yamajita Iso. Please buy, and also other books here. Says Pumzele, last words, and then Abdul, lift up the thing up there. Like I said, when I came up here, I said, we're going to be talking about things that are uncomfortable. So lift us up in a minute. Pumzile, last words to the sisters and to those watching on television.
Okay, the last word is I just want to put it out there. I'm the Pumi. I tell the truth like it is. I don't sugarcoat anything. I want everyone to understand that I forgave my mother without asking for forgiveness. That's why God keeps on blessing me, because I let go. I forgave her, and I told her that I love her because I am this woman because of her. By the way, I look exactly like my mom. It's just that Yena, she's a yellow bone, Mina, I'm dark. We are exactly the same. Sninkani, so too. So if she said she's not gonna do something, she's not gonna do it. And same applies with me. We tried everything, everything. Like I'm talking about 5 special, they all said one thing. Your mother, she's scared. She's the one who needs help. I always say, how can she give love if she never received love? Mm-hmm. My mother got married at a very young age. She had her first child when she was 13 years. So she doesn't know love. She doesn't know to be uguti adolescence or anything. Because from being a toddler, uvele waba umama. I mean, at the age of 13, there was firstborn, then Begamngane, obviously. 15 years, she had my late brother who killed himself in 1994. He passed away hating my mother. So then, 18 years, she had my sister. At 21, she had me. Then 10 years after, she had my brother. So she's the one who's scarred. And when Akhanang, when they contacted me, I said, you know, it's a great opportunity for her to get the healing, because they need to go to that 10-year-old who was scarred by her own mother. Then she will find the healing. I found my healing. When they took me to a mental hospital, 2018, I spent Christmas in a mental hospital because of my mother, because of my family. And when I came out there, still, instead of leaving me alone, they dragged me to court, 2019. I spent over 48,000 fighting for my kids because they said my kids were abused. I love my children so much that I am this mother who will do anything to protect my kids and not allow my kids to be where I was. My child, she's 11 years old. 2019, she was checked. That's the pain that will never go away. Where she was checked, because my mother, my sister, and my niece said my daughter was raped. 2017, I kept quiet. You know the pain when you are looking at your daughter and she's asking you that, Mama, did they do this to you? I said, yes, they did it. I had to lie. Because what was I going to say to my child? I said, all girls, we go through this. If when, izindoma seshinja emzimbeni wakho, they have to check you. My daughter was not raped. The medicals proved. And then they changed again in court. They said my son raped the boy that they said raped my daughter. So my son spent 6 weeks counseling ahamba with the real rapist, only to find out that even that poor kid, she was checked. Also, she also asked her mother that, Mommy, why are they doing this to me? The daughter was not raped. And you know, the magistrate said, when they were closing the case, said, you guys are fighting. You are fighting Pumi, and you are dragging the innocent kids to your mess. Pumi, whatever you do, I give you the right that you can sue your parent. But I said, I don't want to sue them. They don't have the money to pay me. I don't want anything from them. All I want is, can you just leave me and my kids alone? I love you, I forgive you, but can we do this? That's it.
Pumi, as we after sharing all this story, what are you doing to break the bias? Because they try to get you into media. People like publicity for the wrong reasons. But the Lord keeps on protecting you doing that. But let's end up on a positive. With all these experiences, the theme is break the bias. What are you doing to do that?
What I am doing to break the bias is, I'm an author also. My first series book name is My Mother Hates Me. I have other 5 books that I've written already, but I only published one. Do not judge. It did not happen to you. It happened to me. If your mother loved you, you received that love. I did not receive it. We always say the mother, we are protecting, we are guiders. I did not. I learned everything.
And that's your reality. And that's your reality.
The reality.
Yeah.
So we need to break that bias that a mother cannot give birth to a child and I'm zoned. It happened to me. And we need to break it. And as the women, what I want us to break, and this is what I'm going to break, I am raising a boy child and a girl child who saw me being beaten up. And my daughter, she saw me being beaten up. But I broke the bias by leaving the marriage. That was toxic. It was not, I was beaten physically, but the people who were more affected to this, it was my kids. So I want to break that bias, that I am going to be the best mother-in-law ever, because my marriage was broken by my mother-in-law and the baby mama. So women, I beg you, leave your sons to choose the woman they want. Baby mamas, I beg you, if things did not work out between you and your baby daddy, please stop it. And now what is on fashion? I just need to say it like it is. Witchcraft, it's there. Black people, stop it. I saw it in my own life because it happened to me.
Amen.
Thank you.
Folks, let's give Angela and Pumzile a round of applause. And with those ones, a full weight. Thank you so much. Abdul, lift us up, my brother. Thank you, Siswa. Thank you.
Doc, while we are all here, you know me, I like just stay here, ladies. Ladies, stay here. I need you guys all. I need you guys all. We are ready to break the bias. I'm going to show you how. I've seen something, and I have a way. Are we all going to play full out? So, you know, I always said, I got something else. While this was happening, and you were talking, and you did this, she taught me something. So I want us to do this. How are we going to break the bias? So from now, this is open. Break the bias. Break the bias. We're not going together. Come on, ladies. Come on. I don't feel you guys. Together. Break the bias. Break the bias. I'm not hearing you. Break the bias. Break the bias. Break the bias. Are you going to break the bias?
Yes, I am.
Who is?
I am.
Who is?
I am.
Who is?
I am.
I am Abdul Manak. Hold on, ladies. Stay standing. Doc.
Yes, sir.
Come here, please, Doc. Doc, you know the last time we had... No. Okay, I think that's good. No, stay there, Doc. I want you there. Doc, when you see me, what do you see? You see a black belt here. Yes. What does it remind you of? Karate. Now, Doc, you know you were talking of tools. I think we need to show them some tools. I've got 3 steps of tools of how to break the bias. What you can use when someone challenges you. What you can do when people are onto you. I have 3 tools on protecting yourself as a karate expert. Doc, what do you have to tell women? I've got a karate 3 tools. What is your tool, Doc, for them to...
Well, 3 things, because my tool is my word. 1, forgiveness. It's a choice. But forgiveness does not mean fellowship. You can forgive a person, but you don't necessarily have to fellowship. The Bible is clear, forgive them, it releases you. Number 2, love yourself. Loving yourself meaning, don't get stuck in the past. You're stuck there. Remember, the past is a tomb. Today is a womb of possibility.
Wow.
And number 3, go and help someone through your experience. Yeah. Shucks me. And your 3 tools, Baba?
Well, as a karate man, these tools are going to take you to another level. Whenever someone challenges you, when he comes to you, he talks to you, this is what you're going to do. Remember this. 3 tools. Number 1, what is Beyonce's song? What is the song? To the left, to the left. So firstly, look to the left, look to the left. When someone troubles you, look to the left. Number 2, look to the right. He's challenging you, he's making you angry, you are upset. Number 3, run for your life. Doc, before they run away, I think they love standing. What I want you to do, brother, let's rock it. People, turn around, find a partner, come here in front. I want you to be behind. I want to see you shake your hips. Give the person in front of you a massage. Doctor, show them how it's done. On time, watch, Doc, watch. Come on, rub, massage. Nice massage, lower down, Doc, give me low. Let me feel it, Doc. Feel it, rub, nice rub. Okay, chop. Okay, hands on the hips, on their hips. Tickle. Hold on, it's not fair. Turn around. Let's walk around. Let's go, massage. Brother, come here, massage. Nice massage. Up and down, nice, come on, massage. Okay, let's rub. Nice rub. Rub. Come on, rub. Connie, I'm not seeing you rub there, Connie. Give them a rub. Okay, chop. Let's chop. Chop. Hands on the hips. Tickle them.
Before we leave, let's see how chemical prediction, so you'll see how you're supposed to get up now.
Okay, we'll do them now. Okay, as you take your seats, are you having fun? I'm having lots of fun. I feel like a new karate-born man. They say black like me, I put on my black belt and I'm away. My next guest is someone very special. I've got 2. I spent a few minutes with her, and I promise you I was touched. I was inspired. When I looked at the CV, I don't think I'm going to do justice to it. She's from Port Elizabeth. She represents business and all business people. More so, listen to this. She represents 1.2 million SMEs who employ 6 million people and export over $20 billion. Imagine that. Who is also the first black female CEO of one of our sponsors today, who's made today possible, SAUBC. The first black CEO of the JCCI in 130 years. Also, a BRICS Global Woman Award recipient for 2021. She's passionate to support women empowerment. She also told me, Abdullah, I'm going to make this easy for you. Sometimes your tongue may get twisted, and it just did. And she helped me. She also sits on a working committee of WICONA, also a designated committee member of the country's president's Marketing and Communicational Council, a multi-award winner, and has had continental and global recognition worldly. This is all she has done. Let's welcome Jackie Mponda Hendricks. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you, ladies. With her, I have another special lady. What a sweet lady. Her name is Lesego, who comes from Pretoria, who has thrived on being different. I asked her, how did you make it different? She said in a school of 1,000 people, 8 people were nominated as the best and were given colors of a uniform and an award of leadership. And she dreamt of that. What happened in matric? She's one that became one of those top 8 and she got a yellow blazer. She has a degree in financial management. She's a master in entrepreneurship. She got a master's in entrepreneurship. I can see my tongue is twisting me around today when I speak with ladies. You know when you're among roses, you know, and you're a thorn, these words just seem to go wrong. She also is one of our sponsors of UBS and started as a manager in marketing, head of marketing, and I asked her what's her fear. She says young people not realizing their potential. Let's have it for Lesego Tipane. Ladies, I'm so excited to have you both with me. Jackie, let's start with you. You know, when I see a lady that's got such awards, numerous awards, many awards I can't even, you know, mention. How did you break the bias to be one of these women? A woman that broke all the nominations, broke all the differences to be that one, to stood out.
Firstly, I would like to...
I think it is.
Yeah. Firstly, I would like to thank Dr. Reverend Mulapo, as I usually say, for granting me this opportunity to engage with women across the continent and the world, because I believe that we are connected virtually as well. I always take these opportunities as God using you and creating pulpits for you to share stories that will become testimonials to women. People always say, how do you do certain things? I can come and script something. I can say that I've always wanted to be this, I've always wanted to achieve this. But what I've actually realized that firstly, my achievements are beyond any comprehension of my own. Wow. I would have never thought that as a young girl who grew up in the church and in New Brighton would ever achieve the kind of accolades that God has bestowed on me. My path was not mine. My path is directed by the Almighty. I cannot answer and say how I've done certain things. Angela said something very profound earlier. She said, destiny finds you. Yes. And destiny found me. And for that, I'm forever grateful. But the important thing is, what do you do when destiny has found you as a woman?
Absolutely.
And I must say, and I always say when I speak, I said my birth was 2 years ago, and for those who know me, they'll know what I mean. When you've gone through the tunnel of light, and you are ready to meet your Maker, and your Maker says to you, I am not done with you, it shifts everything that you do in your life. So I am here to fulfill what is said in Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. I am walking in that guided path, and I'm strengthened by the fact that I know who I am. I know who I am in the Word. I know who I am in the world. I know who I am in light. I know who I am in darkness, and I know who I am in purpose and legacy.
When you know who you are in purpose and legacy, 2 years ago you said that light was found. What led you to that light? What broke you to that light, to find that light?
And once again, I think Zanele knows the story. It actually started with COVID-19. there is something that happens in silence. When COVID silenced the world, it gave God the opportunity to speak to us. It gave him the opportunity to open our ears and hear his clarent call. It was, I think it was the 28th of March, if I remember. And I always say that for the first 3 days, I just couldn't sleep. I had nightmares. I heard people crying. And by the 4th day, I said, no, man, God, what are you trying to do here? Yabon? And the voice that came through was, I need you to clothe my people with dignity during this time. And I asked myself, what does that mean? You know? Because sometimes positions of influence doesn't necessarily come with a good balance sheet either.
Absolutely.
So I say to God, you know what? I know that I'm placed in an influential position. At that stage, I was president of the Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce and Industry. But my bank balance doesn't quite reflect this. So if you say to me, do something, what is it that you want me to do? And it was very clear. He said to me, I did not place you where you are for you not to become an instrument for my word.
Wow.
I need you to personify the grace and the love of God during this period. And I said, okay, then you show me. I tell you that within 5 days, I raised R500,000.
Oh my God.
Within 6 weeks, I distributed over 90,000 meals across Gauteng. I distributed multitudes of nappies and diapers and formula for those that were the most vulnerable. And until you have seen a pensioner who has soiled themselves and cannot do anything for themselves, I think that moment is something we need to see to begin to humble ourselves and to have the true empathy that is required for us as women to transform the world.
You talk of transforming the world. What I can take from here is surrendering, letting
Completely.
go. Is that what you're saying?
Completely. Completely. You need to surrender yourself to the will and the purpose of God. And that is why even when he created you to be woman, it was not by accident. It was not coincidental. We are not made in China. Everything that we have been made and designed to be the change in this world that God wants to see. In us, I see angels of mercy. I see angels of love. I see angels of light. What women don't realize is that we, by virtue of our being and our ability to birth a person, the broader responsibility that comes with that is that we are the incubators of the aspirations of nations. We birth the dreams. Yeah? We birth the dreams, not only for the current, but the future generation. And it's based on that really I want to use this opportunity that I have today to start working on how we can begin to break the bias as women and truly own our own destiny and our future. Because we cannot do that if we are still allowing ourselves to operate within a patriarchal framework. We need to challenge that. And from an economic perspective is where I then want to focus on, about how we as women need to start taking ownership of our worth. And our worth is in terms of the person that you are, but also your ability to generate sustainable wealth.
I see Lisejo is shaking her head there. you want to share your thoughts in agreeing with Jackie.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Is it on? Yes. So before I start, just to pick up from what Jackie said, thank you. The one thing that we all have in common, and it came across yesterday, can you please repeat after me? Let me not forget that first I am a woman.
Let's we not forget.
That first I am a woman. And I think sometimes we forget how powerful that is. So like you said, Abdul, I'm from Ulwembu Business Services. And the one thing that we always talked about was how it's a boys' club, you know? And we stuck on how, talking about the problem, we hate it, we have issues with it. But then we don't want to start a girls' club. So why can't we do that? And until we acknowledge that we have the power to do that and know that it is within us, then only then we can start and being great.
You say we can start in being great. How did you become great? There were 1,000 kids in the school, and a few, 7, were chosen to get a special blaze of leadership. Yeah. How did you break that bias? What led and inspired you to do that?
Well, that's very interesting. So, okay, I don't know if I should say I was great, but how I saw it was, oh, there are only 8 people wearing this uniform out of 1,000 of us. I've got 5 years to get it. All I knew was I want to be one of them, you know. But of course, I can't just wish, I have to work at it. And I did everything possible to make sure that I am remembered and that I get it. I swam, no black kid swam. I was in the school team for swimming. I did public speaking. I hate speaking. I can't believe I'm here. And
you are doing, let me just tell you, you're doing awesome. Isn't she doing awesome? Let's give her a round of applause.
And I think one of the things, I remember yesterday, Dr. Mulapu said, when he's got an eaglet, he will kick you out of the nest. And he's been doing that with me the past week that we've been trying to plan and organize. So I knew that I wanted to get there. I just had to have the practice and the faith to know that I can do it.
You know, you talk of doing it, Jackie. You know, you spoke about breaking the bias and women inclusion in business. How do women get involved and included in business? Because this is something I'm sure you all want to know, how you can be inclusive in business, correct? How do they get included in business? How do they break this biasness?
Firstly, if I can give you a generic response, which everybody says. Yesterday I was at a similar session and everybody says the same thing. But I want to go back to the issue of the girls' club, because it's a very interesting one. And it's around how we begin to own the decisions, the information, and the access that we have. And if you notice, even that question, it's like, I'm trying to remember, there was a popular video that went around in the past about the rate of pregnancy, focusing on the woman and not saying, but what about the perpetrator that has made the person pregnant?
Yes.
I think as women, we need to look at how we begin to shift our conversations. Do you know there is power in word? Yeah? And one of the things we need to shift is that I think that as women, we need to begin to get together and define the future that we want to see for ourselves, outside of the patriarchal world. Yeah? What is the future that we want to see for ourselves as women? Not competing, complementary. Because we need to understand and appreciate the inherent strengths that have been bestowed on us by our Creator. Now, when you know that, then your plan of action is very deliberate. Yeah? And when your plan of action is deliberate, then you can begin to monitor, track, and evaluate it and review it. Then you can also work together in terms of funding whatever actions you want to put in play.
Absolutely.
So, for me, I always say that, and we have conversations about a gender view on things. So let me share some of my frustration, for example. And I've realized that instead of always referring to it as a problem, let me create my own solution. So one of the small things that I do is I become the voice of the voiceless women out there at every single opportunity that I get. So I would be invited to a panel discussion, for example, and one of the comments I would make is, where are the women in this sector? Yeah, because it's all male. I would be in a conversation with a meeting or whether in government, and I say, where's women inclusion in this? Yeah? You look at some of the opportunistic policies and agendas that are right there. I mean, we've got AFTA, the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, yeah? It says that women and youth are at the heart of this. It also further says that by 2030, we're looking at doubling intra-regional trade from 16% to 32%. Now, then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, so where are the women to then challenge this and say, we see the commitment, but what does it translate to? If, as women, collectively we contribute to 33% of the continental GDP, yeah?
Absolutely.
If we align it, therefore, with AFTA, is it not then true for us to say that we want to own double of that by 2030? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Is it not then also a situation where people start saying that women have 10 million SMMEs around the world? Do you understand the quantum of 10 million owned SMMEs in the world? Why are we not forging ahead with global sisterhoods within the business environment? We talk Wekona. The president makes an announcement, a very bold announcement, and he says 40% of all government-owned procurement will be ring-fenced for women. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. Where are the women that will be leading the engagements to hold them accountable when that has not been achieved? We have the ILO 190 resolution that has just come through on the 25th of June. What that resolution says, it's the first international treaty that enforces all workspaces to be safe for women against GBV. Where are we as the women in South Africa to say, Minister of Labor, don't you think that you should be accelerating this, especially against the backdrop where the president says that GBV is a pandemic? And yet it is not being treated as a pandemic. Because if you have a pandemic, you allocate resources towards it. Where is the GBV budget in SONA? Where is the GBV budget in finance? But the norm will continue until we stand up as women and we hold them accountable. So what I'm saying is that women, stand up, claim your space. Let days like these remind you about the strength that exists within women when they unite against a common cause. We can change history. And it has been proved over and over again, including through Women's International Women's Day. I further want to say, let us stop falling victim to what a perception that gets created that as women we don't support each other. I even go as far as saying, you know what, that's the devil, yeah? Because the devil will encourage division. Because can you imagine what we can achieve when we are united?
Absolutely.
Yeah? So let's also deal with that issue. Because a lot of the support I've received in my life have actually been through women.
You know, we talk of being the voice of the voiceless. And I think that is the most important message. What's also important I take from is be accountable. Stand up. Don't be one that has fear. Sejo, you told me about fear. You said there's ways to break fear. Because women are scared. They want to jump in, but something is holding them back. And when I spoke to you, you said when they break fear, they unleash potential. Is that correct?
That's very correct. I think the fear that we have is as much as we know that we can do it, sometimes we don't know how to start. And just to add on to what you said, Jackie, as much as women help each other, I feel for young women, there's always been a barrier between the successful women that we see doing it and us, because we want to do it, but we are here. So that's where my plea was going to come. As women who have done it before, and there's a foundation, please hand the baton to us and also guide us and show us how to do it. And to the young women, I feel that we have, Mama Connie, you talked about it, so media, but also social media is one of our powerful tools, you know, but we're using it for the wrong reasons. We're using it for frivolous, for shiny things where we have a voice to talk about the important things. I feel that as young women, we don't have a fight within us anymore. We don't know what our why is and what we are fighting for. We're still holding on to the 1956, and that's done, and it's been given to us. What are we fighting for now? And those are the fears that we need to break. And it starts with knowing ourselves. It starts with not going according to the social norms. It's breaking the bias. Let's do something different.
You know, you talk of breaking the bias and doing something different. You said we need to know our why. What is your why?
My why, to be honest, is what wakes me up in the morning. So I got a call last week, and it was, do you still dream? You know, I think you feel like, okay, our 20s are over, so now we don't dream anymore because we've done it. But if you are there, then you're not dreaming, you don't have goals. So that's the thing. That's my fear, waking up and staying the same, waking up and not learning, waking up and not knowing what my purpose is in life.
Do you wake up every morning with purpose?
Not every morning, no. Not every, you have your bad days, but you just remember where you come from, letting that go and knowing that, you know, you learn every day, you need to learn something new. So that's my purpose.
You know, Jackie, talking about waking up every morning, what wakes you up, inspires you, gets your heart to tick and do the things you do? What drives you? What motivates you? Surely people want to know, what is the formula? What is your formula? And you said there's no formula, but there's a certain way or steps you follow. And I'm sure people want to know, what are they?
What wakes me up in the morning is the breath of life. Because what COVID has also done is allowed us to reappreciate breath. And for people who have gone through COVID, they know what I mean. When you struggle for breath, because with breath comes life, and with life comes the opportunity to make a difference, to effect change, to be the change that you want to see in the world, to reflect God's grace, to reflect God's power, and just to be. So I don't know whether that answer suits you, but for me, it's breath.
You know, talking of breath, you probably, and I'm just assuming, probably been through COVID.
Yes.
What were the lessons that you can take from them? I know one was the light. And a lot of people here have been through tough times. And they want to stand up. They want to lift themselves up. They want to go to the next level. What should they do? What would you suggest?
You know, What I would suggest is that you need to connect with God. You need to make the time to connect and to understand God's purpose for your life. And sometimes when you fail, it's because your purpose and what God intends for you is not aligned. It is very important to connect because we are created in spirit. And if your spirit and with the spirit of the Creator is not aligned, you're going to fumble.
Absolutely.
So sometimes, just be still. Even when you have to make a decision about your business, your personal life, just be still. Just be still. And ask God to guide you and give you the answers. Because when He does, you will just see miracles. The other thing I also want to just throw in, and it's a realization that actually just dawned on me last week. Because, I'm saying this because I want to come back to the issue of children. I looked at my life and I realized, I'm not actually that deserving of all the grace and the glory that is bestowed on me. And I tried to dig deeper in terms of why it has happened in this way. And what was shed to me was the prayers of my grandparents.
Wow.
So, as believing women of God, pray for your children. I have been saved in many instances by the prayers of my grandparents. Not because of me, because trust me, I've also not had a perfect life, yeah?
Yeah.
But I can tell you, when I reflect back and I see the hand of God move in my life, it is because of the seeds that were planted by my grandparents. So never give up praying. When things are tough, even if you go back and just say, Our Father who art in heaven. But never stop praying.
At this moment, I want to ask you, Jackie spoke about being still. If you had to be still this moment, what could you do? What would you do if you just be quiet for a moment? And I love that. What would you do to break the bias? What steps would you take today? When you leave here today, if you have to be still and just quiet and not listen to the noise and tap into your soul, what would you do? What would you do differently? What would you change? What would your life be like? If not today, when? If not you, who? What would you do? Naseho, what would you do?
I would try. Try something new, taste something new, learn a new language. Just do anything new that I can. Just give it a try. You never know.
What would you do, Jackie?
Yesterday, someone said something very interesting in a session I was in. And she said, stop saying that you're rescuing people. Stop going out. Once again, in terms of communication, you are not rescuing people. Yeah? What we are doing is we're providing hope to people. And we are providing hope through faith and through God's word. And I also don't want to be in a situation where I impose God's word, but just in terms of saying spirituality as an anchor is very, very, very important. So for me, it's all about how do we continue to instill hope in a hopeless society? How do we continue to affirm people, to tell them when they are weak, God is strong for them? When someone says you have failed, you said, no, I'm getting up again because God strengthens me. When someone tells you that you're not beautiful and that you're not worthy, you know that you're beautiful and worthy in God's word. When someone tells you that you are nothing, you know that you are everything to your Father.
Wow.
So for me, it's important that we embrace that knowledge, that we are actually here to fulfill God's purpose, not only for us, but for women, and for nations, and for generations to come.
Doc, I'd like you to come in here. You know, you're not just a preacher, you're a teacher. When people are still, what happens? You know, what light will transpire? What will happen in them, Doc? You know, from scriptures. What are your thoughts?
I'm going to do something as a leader, Brother. I want you to come and stand up here. You heard that question. You are my mentee, my champion. What would you say to that? See, I push people. You see what I mean? You notice, ne? Then when I write the platform, platform the question. Repeat that question again, champ.
You know, Jackie spoke about being still. And when you're still, discovery happens. Magic happens. Magnificence happens. You cloud all the noise, you're just still. What inspires you when you're still? What are your thoughts of being still?
You know, being still is not being quiet. Because when you are still, that's when you can reflect. That is when you actually go inside. Because we live our lives outside. We watch TV, social media, the news and everything, and we try to shape our lives based on what we hear, or what we see, or what people are saying. But the true education or true knowledge comes from within. Because that's where God is. God is inside of us. And in our quietness, that's where we connect with God, because that's where we can hear him even clearly. That is why when somebody says they go out for fasting, they're actually going inside of them.
Absolutely.
And that's where they find God and they find their true direction and true knowledge to life.
To me, there's a scripture, Abdul and family, that says, be still and know that I am. There is something about solitude, because you empty yourself. For me, when I'm still, I can be a self-corrector. David, here, you're screwing up, you're messing up, you need to do that. And it's only during that time when you are still. Because sometimes we need the power of God. But stillness says, you need the presence of God. There is time for power, but it is time for presence. Because in his presence, there is fullness of
joy. Wow, thank you so much, Doc. You know, I just want to put it open here to some questions to the public, to all of you. People are on Facebook, watching us, interacting with us. I've got a panel of people here, and I want Doc to stay here and Dan to stay here. Do you have any questions that you want to share? And maybe we can inspire you. Maybe we can shift you. Maybe in the stillness, we can give you tools. And I've got a whole panel here where now we want to give you tools. We want to take you to the next level. We want you to skip a heartbeat and jump where you may have just been holding back, and now I have a team here who's going to give you those tools. What questions do you have for my team? I just want to get a few people who will ask some questions. I've got one person here, two here, just one more. Anyone else? And I've got a ma'am, and then Brad Dan will share, right? So I think each one will just share a little bit what their question is. So I'd like you to ask them all a question, and maybe they will share according. Brad Dan, sit here.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Can you share your name and stand up, please?
My name is Mudiani Mabaya. I am from the Women Developing Others organization. My question is, within the organization, my role is to do financial coaching. I'm not a financial I'm not qualified in anything financially by profession. I just coach. I just help people with their finances to manage them better. And that has come as a result of me not knowing what to do with my money, and I wanted to, God says he gave us dominion over the earth. And with that dominion, we're supposed to dominate, take possession, and multiply. And I thought, well, if that's the case, then clearly there's something that I'm missing. So with what I had, I wanted to know what to do with it so it can multiply, bear fruit. And as I got to train myself, this was all self-educating, education. The guy at Exclusive Books eventually knew me and he was referring me to more authors. But my issue was most of the books are written with the American background. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted a book that would teach me to spend the randa, lidisente, So through I suppose going back to being still, through my self-introspection of my own finances and to address that lack of knowledge and to gain confidence, I then came about a group of people that could train you and eventually become a financial coach, just to give you a background. But my question to you as mentors is, when you find somebody who is struggling and you know that you have the help that they need, and you try and speak to them and they can see, it's like when people say, oh, when you pray, God answers your prayers, but he's not just my God. He's God for everybody, and everybody can pray because he's given us the ability to connect with him. So when you see somebody lacking in a certain area that you can actually assist in, but they're still so, you can't get through to them, and you don't want to go and beat them on the head and say, listen, wake up. Because I can tend to be like that, like, you know what, you're wasting your time, you could be doing this, look at me. But there's some people that can't take that roughness and rawness. How do you actually deal with somebody who is resistant to the help, especially when they know that you actually are genuine about you wanting to help them? There's women who I really feel they've got the money,